everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am here with a Halloween journal. And this one is made with a new kit that I have, and I guess it's a Z fold, but I kind of got to that in a roundabout way. So we'll see how that goes. I only printed my paper on one side, and because I wanted to make these fun pockets and things, and so there is a little bit of layering. So I'm going to go through the whole thing and we'll decorate it and everything together today. So this is a new paper kit. It's called Halloween Sparkles. Of course it is, right? And I just love it. I actually have the full kit printed to show you guys real quick after I show you the project. There's this little half page with some journaling. And then it opens this way, and we have this great pocket here with some ephemera that I made. This is from my lace book. I just thought it looked very Halloweenish. And more journaling space, fun ribbons, and some different things. So anyway, I think it turned out really cute, and it's kind of like one of those never-ending ones. So then when you close it, you can open it again, right? Turn it, open it again, right? So anyway, I love it. I think it turned out really cute, and I hope you guys do too. This was using one of the fussy cuts and a little dangle. Love it. Okay, so let me show you the kit. Now, guys, I don't do a lot of Halloween crafting, and I know a lot of people do and love it, and I enjoy it. My kids are grown, and we don't really do much Halloween, but I do like this vintage look that I came up with, and I hope you guys do too. We'll have some fun with it this year. So 2 pages of fussy cuts with some super cute images, a page of faux stamps, one of my most favorite things. I didn't even count how many are on there, but it's a nice full page. There are 3 collage sheets. I just thought that would be a fun thing to mix in. People seem to have been enjoying my collage papers, so I put 3 of those in this Halloween Sparkles kit. It says trick or treat. I love that little he's not a snowman, he's a ghost. Wrong holiday, Pam. Okay, and then some tags. So this is, you get partials of those collage sheets at a smaller scale. So I think that's really fun, at full scale. Well, here you can see the little girl here and the little girl here, the kitty cat. So you just get it on a smaller scale, and I think that's fun because you can use them as tags or chop them up, punch them out, whatever. Some rounded squares. Cute. A faux washi tape page, so strips, like a little collage page, and then this fun blue as a background or a layering page. Okay, so it's 10 pages. It's in my Etsy shop. There's the digital version that you download and print at home, or I have a print and ship option if that's of interest to you in Etsy as well. I will link those in the description. So let's get started. I have all the measurements in the scoring, and I will put them in the description for you. I have pre-cut my papers, and I'm hoping I remember how to do everything. I worked on this yesterday for most of the day, just cutting everything out and playing with the new kit and then coming up with this design. And so I've slept since then, but I like to cut everything out, just make sure everything's doing what I think it's going to do before I put it in my Etsy shop. So it takes me a while when I have a new kit going. Okay, so I will put all the measurements, but again, kind of before you do yours, let me make sure everything's working well. And like I said, the correct measurement, scoring, and everything will definitely be in that description. All right, I'm going to set that aside for a minute. The first thing you're going to do is start with 2 pages, and I'm using collage pages. You use whatever paper you want. I'm going to do a little bit of layering. If you want to print yours on the other side, you could do that. I just like the thickness it gets when I do that little bit of layering, and it gives me, that flexibility. So I chose to use, like I said, 2 of the collage sheets, but use whatever paper makes you happy. And if you don't do Halloween, you can do this in a fall theme. You can do this any holiday, Christmas, whatever you like. So no worries. Okay. Now, 2 pieces of paper that measure 10 1/4 by 7 1/2. I don't think I gave y'all the measurements. So 10 1/4 by 7 1/2 inches tall. And the first one we are going to score at 3 1/4 inches and at 8 1/2. Okay, just like that. And then set that one aside. The second one, we're going to score once, and that is going to be at 5 1/4. Again, I hope I'm doing this right. Okay. Sometimes when you sleep and you don't take good notes and you go back and try to recreate everything, it's just annoying. And sometimes what happens is I just start creating and start gluing paper together, not sure if it's going to work. And then I'm like, okay, I love this. And now I have to go back and remember, what did I do? Where did I score it? You know, that kind of thing. I should learn to just take notes as I go. Okay, so I'm just creasing on my score lines, making sure everything is the way that I want it. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of inking. I am using my tea dye distress ink, and you know, it just takes a little bit of the white core away. I noticed when I was looking through the one that I just showed you, it could use a touch more ink. That's okay, you can always go back. And the pockets and stuff are where it's hard, but like right here, see, I can add some right there to the top, and that takes that away. So you have options. Okay, so a little bit, and I can ink more later. I can't, oh wait, that one I know we don't see. I think this one we see. I can't remember. I'm going to just go ahead and ink it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the piece that I cut to layer in here, and I think this is it. Yes, this is 7 1/2 inches by 4 inches. Yeah, I think that was upside down. Okay, so this piece is going to end up just getting layered in here like this, so that we can then make this into a pocket. All right, now before I glue it down though, we are going to do the partial page that you see when you open up the journal. So this will come this direction. This will become a pocket, but we're going to have a flippy page. Don't worry about this just yet. Okay, so you're going to get, you need 2 pieces. I'll just go ahead and tell you that 2 pieces that measure, I made mine 5 1/2 inches tall by 5 inches wide. I'm going to use 1/2 inch for a tab to make it flip. I could have made them taller. I could have made them smaller, but if you want to make yours exactly like mine, it's 5 1/2 inches by 5, and 2 of those. And then I'm also layering paper in there, and this is just some copy paper that's this color. You could use copy dyed paper, a neutral, print a neutral on the back, something like that. So, okay. This first one that I'm going to do is I am going to score it at 4 1/2 inches. The other one I'm going to score just for fun at 1/2 inch. And you'll see the difference. It doesn't really matter. It's just which part you see when you open it up. Okay, so you can score them both at 1/2 inch. You can score them both at the 4 1/2. You know, it's really up to you. But let me show you what happens. When we fold this over, it's going to get attached here like this. That way it's going to be able to open. This is going to be glued down as a pocket. And then you have the little page. I'm going to layer this piece of paper right here. And by doing it this way, when you open it up, this is what you see. I hope that makes sense. It's all going to make sense in just a second. Let's set all of this aside and go back to your piece that we scored at 4 1/2 inches fold it down. It's not necessary, but I am gonna just snip the corners just a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink it. It's probably may not have been the easiest order to show you guys how to do this in, but I think it'll make sense in just a moment. And like I said, I will list the pieces of paper that you need, the measurements and the scoring. Okay. So you'll be able to look at that if you want to while you're watching the video, or when you get ready if you decide you want to make one. And again, don't get boxed in to the paper. Sometimes I've heard people say, yeah, I didn't watch that video because I'm really not interested in whatever umbrellas, or I'm not interested in butterflies, right? But the idea for the project may be something you absolutely like, just maybe with a different paper, correct? So anyway, I encourage you to not worry if you don't have these exact papers. You can use scrapbook paper cut to the size, just whatever you have, right? Be fun to make something like this using book page as a base and then decorate it with your ephemera. All right. So here is the partial page. I want to go ahead and attach it to the piece that measures 4 inches by 7.5, just like this. And I'm going to kind of center mine, and I'm just going to attach it by putting the glue on this little tab we made. You're not going to see that. All right, so now you have this piece that we, what did we do? We scored it at 3 1/4 and 8 1/2. And then with the print side up, right? The pretty side up. When you fold it over, this is going to become a pocket, but I don't want to glue it yet, so I'm going to just leave it open. This piece is going to get glued almost to this score line. And I didn't show you guys that. I left mine as a large pocket just in case, like if I want to put more writing paper or a large picture or something in there. I don't have anything in there yet, but I like leaving myself options. So I'm going to glue mine down, like a side load pocket. You could, not your page, but you could glue the entire piece down, or you can do what I'm going to do and make it a pocket. So you're just going to have glue the top and the bottom. And I think I came in just a touch. And then along this edge, not the edge where we have the page. That's the part we want to leave open. Okay, and again, don't cross over this score line. Whoops, glue, come on, glue. Okay, so now we have this partial page. Now, this flap right here, I'm going to go ahead and glue down, and it's going to make everything hopefully make sense. So glue at the bottom and at the top and bring it over. And it's a little busy with all these collage papers, so hopefully that made sense. Okay. All right, so this is the first part of our journal. Now we are going to go back to the page we prepped right here, and we are going to glue this page in. Now I want to go ahead and ink it, and I'll show you how we're going to glue it. And she cracks me up. She's so funny. Look at that, spooky. Please let me know what you guys think of the paper and the project. Give the video, if you like it, a thumbs up. Just want to make sure I have this right, and I do. Leave me a comment, all those things. Okay, so now you have the page that we scored at 5 1/4. So this section measures 5 1/4. We want to glue it to this flap right here. But again, I want this to become a pocket. So I don't want to add glue to this whole section. I am just going to add glue right here along this score line. and at the bottom and at the top. Okay. And then I'm just going to carefully lay her down, or lay it down. I'm calling it a her because this lovely lady on the front. Okay. Now, hopefully, I cut my papers pretty close, and I did. Like, there's a little tiny, teeny little white strip right there that I'm just gonna cut off. Okay, so this is our front cover. You open it up. Oh, I did do it backwards. Ha! Okay, so when you open it up, you're gonna see the journaling page first. That's fine, we'll decorate it. And then this one. And now we have this page. Just make sure, yes. This page. Is that what I did? 1, 2. No, it goes this way. Ah. Okay, open it up. This page, open it up. This is kind of like the other cover again. And now, I didn't layer that before we glued it. What I normally do, or I did last time, I'm just going to lift it up just a touch. This piece just got glued in here as a layering piece. I'm so sorry, you guys. So, this piece measures 2.5 by 7.5. And I'm going to ink it. And it's just to cover up the white. Again, if you had printed on both sides, you wouldn't have this issue. So before you glue, when you're right here, before you glue this page down, what you want to do is you want to flip it over and put your layering piece right up next to this score line. I know this, I'm afraid this is getting very confusing, and I'm very sorry. I'm going to just make mine fit by sliding it in. All right, so that 2.5-inch piece by 7.5 will go on the back of the page you scored at 5 1/4. Okay, you just flip it over and you're going to glue it to the right of the score line all the way down. I knew there'd be something I forgot. Luckily, my glue cooperated and allowed me to lift up my pocket just a touch. Okay, and now I will just re-glue it right there. Okay. If it hadn't lifted up easily, I could have just trimmed this down and just pieced it the best I could, and it would have been okay. All right. Now, we have another page that is going to be a partial page. So this, we've already scored it, so I'm just going to angle the corners. I'm going to go ahead and layer it, and then we will finish this page. So take your other piece that measured 5 by 5 1/2. These pieces, I don't know if I gave you these measurements, but I will have it there to your layering pieces. This one, it would have just made sense to print a neutral on the back. But these measure 4 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, and they just fit right in here because I used 1/2 inch for the hinge. I don't know if that made sense. Sometimes when I make things up and I've only made them one time, like I said, and then I slept. Oh my gosh, I just hope it's not too confusing. If you're new here and you're confused, I apologize, but I'm normally I don't think it's, I don't know, maybe it's not confusing and I need to just stay positive, right? I love the project and it does end up working. So there you go. All right, now, so that's my flippy page right there. This is my layering piece. So this last layering piece, let's make sure I cut it to the right size. I did. And it'll be in the description. It measures 5 1/8 by 7 1/2. Okay, and it's gonna fit right here. But I don't wanna glue it down yet because I want to put my flippy page. And I definitely want the front to show on this one. And then when you flip it, you'll see the journaling space. So, let me glue this. And this one, I think I just completely glued down to layer it. You know, if you wanted to, you could leave it at the top. Again, give yourself options. I'll just glue mine down. Now, because I want it to open this way, I am going to add the glue. Get it the way that I want it. And I'm going to add the glue to this side of the tab. You don't see it anyway, so it's okay that it's the pretty side. I like the faux buttons I put on here too. Aren't they cute? Okay. So now when we open up this side of the journal, we'll see this first. This might be the tiniest smidge long, and if so, we'll trim it off. So I'm just going to add glue because I'm just going to close this one up. So to the entire back. Do a heart. And again, don't cross over this score line. You just want everything to close up nicely, but come up, you know, up to it. Yeah, it's just a smidge because I didn't want to go up to the score line. So all I'll do, if it wasn't quite this large, I would just ink it, but I'm just going to trim it off. And I can get it pretty straight using the edge of this paper. All right, it was just a sliver. Very cute. All right. And I guess you can decide what you want the front to be, right? So I'm going to make this be the front. Open up. We have a pocket. We have a page. We can add pockets or decorations as much or as little as we want. Let's make sure this is nice and creased. And then it opens here. And again, we can decorate more or not. Opens here. And here. Now on the other one I added a pocket here, so let's do that. And I don't think well, I know I didn't cut a piece, so I will tell y'all about measurement. And I honestly also used my tear ruler because I liked having that little bit of a different edge. So let's pull that out. Now this section, if you just want to cut a piece of paper, I would make it 4 7/8, and then depending on how deep you want it, like maybe by 3 inches. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to tear it at 3 inches. I'm going to have the bottom be a straight line. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have my pocket be approximately 3 inches. I'm going to use the larger side. I tend to use that smaller one. And this is 90-pound Nina white cardstock, which is kind of my everyday crafting paper. And it's definitely not copy paper, right? But it's not super duper heavy. Now I'm going to just tear a little bit of an edge off here. And then I'll just use my journal to help me see how wide I need to tear my pocket. Or you can just cut a pocket, okay? There we go. And I may just tear that little corner that was hanging off there. Great. And then we can decorate the pocket. And I used the washi tape strip paper, you know, for this panel, but it would have made a cute pocket too, you know, depending on what paper you put here. Would probably be fun to do this one in the blue and the washi tape strips, and then use the collage sheets for other things. So again, lots of options. We're just going to install this like a regular pocket with glue on the bottom and the two sides, leaving the top open, holding it by the top. And just put it on here. Okay. Very cute. But again, this can be the front if we want this to be the front, or this can be the front. I think I may make this the front, even though I said it wasn't going to be, just because I like when you open it up to see the collage paper and then the journaling spot. And then when you get to the back, again, however the person picks it up and starts opening it, it really will be fine. Now, I did pull out some little charms that were kind of Halloween-y. I thought these two cats were super cute. Whoops, and this is just a pumpkin. How cute is that with some fall leaves? This is another skull and crossbones that I did on this one. So we'll find something to make some type of embellishment for the front. Again, it doesn't need a whole lot because of the collage paper, but let me grab some of the fussy cuts that I have and see, because I'd like to do a dangle as well. Like I said, and I also cut out all these little pieces. Those were all the stamps. So we have a lot to do, or a lot we can use. What I liked about that little bottle was how I was able to kind of pop it up, tie the twine around. So I'm gonna look to see if there's something that kind of lends itself to that idea. Maybe already have a pumpkin right there. This little girl is jumping out at me, and so is this little fella. He's so funny. Where is he? Do I have him somewhere else? I don't think so. Well, there he is on the back of this page. But I think I'm going to put him here on the front if I can get my idea that I've got in my head to work. And what I may do is, I don't know, somehow, I don't want to put anything around his neck, but I do want to put a dangle. Whoa, where'd they go? Maybe the smaller of the kitty cats. And what I may do is hang it off of his little jack-o'-lantern bucket. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I want to mount him on, we'll use this, on some heavier cardstock and make him nice and, what's the word I want? Thick. Because I do not want him to come apart, and especially if I'm going to pop him up a little bit and then dangle something from him. And that's what I did with this one, is I layered cardstock on it. So I'm just going to use this navy that I have sitting here on my desk, and I'll go ahead and just glue where I folded it. I've just done this so that we'll have 3 layers and I can cut once, because I'm going to cut around him again. He's already cut out. If you haven't cut your fussy cuts out and you have one you want to do this with, you know, just kind of cut a larger around him and then, you know, fussy cutting once. But that's okay. I can cut him out again, I think. Okay. So there he is. And you're not really gonna, unless I leave navy, which I'm probably not going to. I'm probably gonna come pretty close to him. This is going to be a really thick, a thick cut because this is very thick cardstock that I put them on. But it's all right. My hands can handle it. Now, I could not cut 2 pages of Fussy Cuts out, I don't think, at this thickness. He may have a little bit of a navy border. We'll see what happens. I wasn't thinking when I decided, oh, three layers of thickness. It's a great idea. I know y'all probably can't see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is, again, cutting around my little boy, who obviously is startled as he is trick-or-treating. He may have seen his first ghost, or his first witch, or first kitty cat. Who knows? Okay, I think that's good enough. And then when I get ink on him, which will help with the white core, hopefully, of this navy paper. And the navy's dark, so that little bit that got left around him, I think, is fine. All right, there we go. Decide where to put him. I'll put him about right there, maybe. And then if I use the smaller of the kitty cats, I think what would look cute, hopefully I don't ruin him after all that work I just did. Let's grab, I'm going to use the smaller hole, and I'm going to just punch a hole to make it a little easier for me. And I didn't want it too close to the edge, so I popped it right there. And then I'll stay with the little skinny twine. We will see if we can tie on our little kitty cat. So let me just loop that through. And I don't want it to dangle too much, but I do like the movement, you know. So the bottle was perfect because I just went around the neck of that bottle and multiple times, and I just thought it just looked so cute. But this one's going to be fine. It's going to be cute too. Isn't he sweet? Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, it just adds a little something. I got these on Amazon a long time ago. If I can find something similar, I will try to make sure it is in my Etsy shop, or in my Amazon storefront for you. All right, and I'm using extra glue because I'm also hoping the glue will pop him up just a little bit too. Okay, and I could have used just regular glue, or I probably could have done some heavy duty glue dots or pop-up dots, but I definitely don't want them going anywhere. Ah, so stinking cute. Okay, love it. All right, now, happiness. Okay, let's decorate this pocket. And again, we have options where I have extra pieces of the collage papers. I have these squares that are super cute and fun, right? And then we also have all the Fussy Cuts. So, you know, something like that might be cute. This is the little girl that I was like, she's screaming my name. Let's use her. How cute is she? Do I want both her and Trick or Treat? I think I do. All right, so we'll just do an easy pop of some of the elements on this pocket. And I do want to use some of my fun Halloween ribbons. So I don't know if I've told y'all about them or not. Full disclosure, I started this video and had to start over because, and I don't usually do that, and it wasn't because I, messed up. It was because my camera fell and like crashed down onto my desk. I hadn't gotten very far, to be fair. But when I went to see, okay, did any of it save? And can I try to, you know, edit the video to put it together? It had deleted the video. Like, I think the way the camera fell, it did something. And then when I picked the phone up. Anyway, I know so I may not have told y'all about the ribbon. I may have. I think I did on that first take. So I have some different Halloween ribbons, and I have more because a couple of years ago, oh look, there was a little owl too. My daughter Sarah and I got into a huge box of crafting ribbon at Goodwill for $7, and it's a box that's about this big, and it's full of only Halloween themed ribbons. And I almost didn't get it because I don't do a ton of Halloween crafting, but she's like, Mom, you'll use it, you know, you'll use it. And I'm like, okay. So there you go. And it's been here in my craft room in the closet for a couple of years, and I've used a little piece here or there. But anyway, I am happy to pull it out and use some. Yay. I don't know, that's kind of gonna go there, I think. I just started looking at that piece. I was trying to come up with something for right here, and then I thought that's gonna look so cute there. All right, before I decorate or add ribbon or something, let's now look at this side, because again, whichever way you pick it up can be the front. And I don't know, I put this on the inside of the other one, but I'm almost thinking I may just put a strip of these fun spiders right here on the front. Now these are, they feel like ribbon. They're definitely fabric. They're not just paper. So they do have a little bit of a, you know, thickness and texture to them. I don't want to cover up the raven too much. Okay, I'm going to hold it in place where I want it. And I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm trying to decide because I'm going to use the hot glue. That pop of black is kind of fun. All right, I'm going to just glue the bottom spider down so I know where I want to be, right? Okay. Now, I'll do a few spiders. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do the rest. I think I can get that without a problem. I'm just putting one little dot on each one. How fun is this? So these ribbons came, I think 2022 is the date on them, but from Joann's. I wish Joann's wasn't closed, but they're all like the Joann's brand, I guess. And yeah, it wasn't last year because she was already in New York. It was probably in 23, so maybe it was just an overstock from Joann's because they were still open then, so I don't know. Okay, this one definitely needs some funness. So let's make a cluster with a stamp. And I like all of them. They're so funny to me. Let's do this little skeleton dude. Oh, there's that poison bottle again. Or a similar one. I think it's a little different. When I cut these out, I decided to use these scissors. It's Fiskar stamps. I don't know, fancy scissors. But instead of cutting them apart, I left them in strips. So then it's just really quick and easy to get the ones that we want. And I don't have to worry about losing them as easily. All right, this has a bunch of frogs on it, and I just thought it was funny, but now I'm looking, I don't think that skeleton is the best color with that, but this guy is. That's pretty good. Let's see. Oh, isn't she funny? Let's do her because the yellow with that green will save him for another spot. The yellow with that green is kind of funny to me. All right, so what I'm thinking is we'll do a strip of the frogs and we'll make a cluster with this lovely little friend. Maybe I'm gonna save that for making a card. I'm looking for just a scrap. I've got a scrap of some book page. And what else do I want to add to this? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know. I'm just grabbing stuff now because I have a little pile always, right? All right, we're just gonna staple it. And then let's find, here they are. I'm looking for my ribbon scissors. I'm gonna cut this straight, I think. All right, and frogs. I'm gonna trim it up after I get it glued down, so I have a tiny bit of wiggle room. I'm gonna put her there. Okay. So again, I'm just gonna turn this to hopefully make the gluing of the ribbon. I just got glue on the front of my froggy ribbon. Hopefully it will roll off here in a second. All right, I'm gonna just go for it. Doesn't need a lot. Don't want to glue it to this page though. So you gotta be careful, Pam. Yeah, it'll roll off. There we go. Not too bad. And now I can just take it, snip it off. I think the bottom one's okay. All right. And then I said I wanted to put her there. I guess I could put her down there, but I've got her face. So I think we're gonna put her up there. Right, like that. Done. How cute is she? Okay, so that has a little bit. We can always, like I said, add a little more or a little less. I used, oh, let me show you that element. I don't know. We'll see if there's a place to put one like it or similar. I used the blue paper. And so I just took a piece of this ribbon, and you honestly, I mean, we could tuck little tiny things in there. Where did that one that I already inked up go? We can put him right there. But, and I just wrapped it over the back and did some spiders. I'll show you how I made that if I can find a place to put it. Let's see. I guess we could put it here. Now this ribbon has wire and it's kind of cute. It's got owls and snakes and I don't know, Halloween-y looking things. So I'm gonna start by just folding a little bit of an edge down. That's how I did it. And then I just kind of, and now that I'm thinking about it, making the pockets deep enough, or these little places deep enough to put something in is actually kind of fun. So, hopefully I'm accomplishing that. Let's do one more. This doesn't have to be the same. It can be different. All right, and I'll be able to hopefully even it up here in a moment. I'm gonna cut it longer than what I really need. All right. So, if we hang it over, I guess I can trim that up in a minute if I want to. Yeah, that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. Now these, again, all I did just to show you is, I mean, I hope you can see that. I just kind of Z-folded it. And then if I glue it, these are going to become little pockets. And I did make these deeper, so they're going to be fun to play with here in just a minute. So I think I'm going to move it. Oh, I was thinking, you know, I want it in the center, but I like it on this side better here. And it leaves us a tiny bit of room if we want to have like a narrow journaling spot. So let's go ahead and attach it on this side. I'm going to have to get another glue stick out. Okay. Luckily, I have some right here. Okay. Still working through these old glue sticks. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and trim this at the bottom so it doesn't hang off of the page. Now, the way I attached the first one is I first lifted it up, and I'm just going to add glue along these two sides where, you know, where the wire is on the ribbon. So that first layer's down. Then I want to glue this little pocket closed. So I'm going to put glue here and here. And that's where I have the opportunity, I think, to just straighten it up nicely, right? Same thing. I hope you guys can see. I'm going to add glue along this edge and this edge. And this will work with any wire ribbon that you have. Being a little bit wider, of course, is helping, since I want to use it as little mini pockets. Mini as in tiny, not as in lots. But I did 1, 2, I guess we're going to get 3. All right. Glue the pocket. This one, try not to burn yourself, but I want to get that little glob of glue off of there. And then we're almost there. Glue along these two sides. And again, it's my opportunity to attempt to straighten this little guy up. It's not hard. And I've done ruffles like this, you know, but I've never thought to use it to make little pocket tuck spots. All right, and then this one, I'll add a touch more and just glue the panel down. I think on the original one, I also put like one of these squares, but I'm not going to worry about it. I like how it ended there. If anything, we could do something like this, you know, put one of these on. But look, I think this is going to be so funny. How deep did they go? I think this was the deepest. Did she go here? I just think this is hysterical. I love it. Maybe a little owl, a little jack-o'-lantern. I wanted it to peek out just a little. There, so funny. That I love that. That is hysterical to me. Okay, I'm happy with that. And if you don't want this looking so plain on this edge, something that might be fun is we could do a little tear of the faux washi, right? Let's just put it right there. Like I said, I was saying we could keep it for journaling, but I don't know. It just is looking kind of odd to me. So I am going to slap a piece of paper on there because, you know, that always helps. Okay. There we go. Now, for the pockets, I just love that. For the pockets, I used some of the, if I can find where I put them. There they are, I think. Some of the tags, and again, I layered them on some other paper, a few on some other paper, and then cut them out. And this navy paper just ended up working really well for me. So let's use these two. And again, just print on the other side or print on a little bit heavier cardstock if you want to. And you don't have to do all the layering, but I like to layer, so it's kind of, for me, a win-win. And then I will cut these out real quick. And then I'll show you, because it was really fun from the lace book, what I did. Making what I thought were some good Halloween themed with some of the portraits that are in there. So if you happen to have an old book or something and you want to try that, you could. Okay. I'm going to just cut these out real quick. And I'm not doing the best because I'm trying to go fast, but that's all right. Just leave a little bit of the navy. There we go. And it's Halloween. I don't know. And kind of vintagey. So I feel like there's the opportunity, if you want to be a little bit cattywampus, is that a good word? Or off-center, you can be. Oh my goodness. So fun. All right. And again, if Halloween isn't your thing, make one with some pretty fall papers, you know, or make one for Christmas with Christmas papers. And if those aren't your things, make some with flowers or butterflies. Okay, now we can, of course, put ribbon and all kinds of things. We'll put one there. I'm trying to decide where I want to put it. Let's put one there. And then let me set this aside for a second. So this is that book, and I've been working through it for a while. I made just a kind of a little journaling card with that. But I started looking, and of course now there probably won't be any, but she's fun, for some of the people that are wearing lace. And I don't know, I didn't look to see how many more there were. I just kind of used what I found. There's a portrait. There's a portrait. I'm thinking this lady. Okay, so I just picked a couple. Whoa, there goes my hot glue gun. Oh, I saved it. Okay. And then, again, I love this tear ruler, so I'm just going to tear these three. Now, again, you may not have a book like this, but if you have some black and white pictures or something that you think would be fun, you can kind of Halloween them up, I think. Now, just to give the paper a little more sturdiness, I did just fold up the bottom and glued it back, because when I go to slide these into the pockets and things, I just thought, you know, it might help a little. I don't know. But what a fun, easy little journaling card. And then I can pick whatever I want, right, from my fussy cuts that are still here, you know, just to kind of make it be funny. So I don't know. This one is kind of speaking to me. So we'll put the little witch flying over. It's like she's sitting there. We'll put it right there. And there we go. If we want to, we could add a little ribbon. What else could we do? We could put a little topper. Let me look at the ones that I made. I'm trying to remember what all I did to them. All right, this one, oh, I just put a spider web and that was it. So funny. This one I layered with some ribbon and just on a piece of paper. Oh, and this one I just put a strip of the paper there with the little princesses. In fact, the caption said unknown princesses, which I thought was interesting. So, all right, we'll leave. Let's see which pocket she will fit in. Maybe the side load, is that a good one for her? All right, and then this one I'm gonna make using her, and I'll try to, we'll see if she needs to be a little more narrow. I like that white, little bit of the white paper along the edge, but we'll see if she'll fit into this pocket. She does look more narrow to me. Yeah, she's gonna fit just fine. And she looks like just perturbed enough that I'm making her into a piece of Halloween ephemera, right? Oh my goodness. I don't know what she would think if she knew, but at least she's not in the landfill, which is where this book would have ended up when I rescued it to craft with. And it has been a good one. Definitely has. I like the color. I like the font. I love all the lace images. And now I'm getting to use some of these. So this is fun. Ooh, should we give her a bat? The cat's kind of funny too. I don't know. The bat's kind of talking to me. Now we could also, because I do have some slivers, could do something like that. That's cute. Let's do that. Add a little color and the bat. Okay. And I could have used a torn piece, but this sliver was right there. And I think it looks good. We'll ink our little bat, and then we'll see where we're at. Of course, you can keep making tags and journal cards and all kinds of things. There's a lot of space in this kind of tiny but mighty little journal folio. There really is a lot of space. Okay, we'll put her right there. And then the other one that I made in the original is I just used a piece of the book page like this. So let's do this. And I think I'm gonna go ahead, let's do it this way. Give it a little more thickness, and then we will decorate it. I really enjoy, I think you guys know, having book page as a base to a lot of my projects. I just think sometimes if I'm stuck and I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do next, sometimes I will get out my book page and be like, okay, what, you know, what can I make? And sometimes just that little bit of book page is the answer, and it really makes me happy. All right, I like this tree. I'm trying to decide if I want to do Halloween on there. Do I want to do the tree? Do I want to do the little ghost? Let's do the little ghost. I'll use the tree for something else at some point. I do think this kit is going to be really fun to use. Like I said, I do a lot of like favor kind of things. So whether it's like with a lollipop or a tea bag, something like that. And maybe some of my lollipop favors, this will be fun because then the fussy cuts can be the little decoration on there. All right, I'm going to let him hang off the bottom just a touch. So I'm going to be careful with my glue. There we go. I just wanted something else. Maybe, does this one? Yeah, this one needs another something. Oh my goodness. I might like this one better than the first one I made. I don't know. This I'm loving. Absolutely loving. Okay. So again, Halloween sparkles, of course, for silver and sparkles. And yeah, we made a little journal. So I hope you like them. Please let me know. I know it was a long crafting session, but if you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. I hope you'll make one. I hope the directions weren't too confusing. It really is just a Z-fold. But instead of using like 12 by 12 paper that I do a lot of times to make one this size, I pieced it together and I think it turned out great. So I'll make sure I put the right measurements for you guys in the description. Okay? Take care, everybody. Happy crafting.